Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the Xtreme trend indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched our first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. At the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below. You can also find a link to sign up for TradingView down below. If you use the link below, you will save a little bit of money. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform. On our Discord server, we are having great conversations about all things regarding trading. One of the biggest struggles on this channel is people who use other platforms like MT4 being able to follow along. Sometimes it can be hard to find the indicators we are using on other platforms. And so on our Discord server, I have created a channel for indicator creation. And on that channel, I pinned links to freelancers who can code indicators for MT or for TradingView. So if you don't want to create a TradingView account, you can hire a freelancer for a really small fee and have them code an indicator for the MT platform. Or if you are on TradingView and need an indicator created, something unique or an indicator for a system you have developed, you can also have them code PineScript. So use the link for either MT4 coding or use the link for PineScript. Lastly, I get a lot of people that are asking me for the entire list of all the winning indicators that we have tested to date. And whereas I am not a big proponent of gatekeeping information, I've put a lot of time and effort into creating the content on my YouTube channel. And so I don't think it is too much to ask for the viewers to go through and view the content that I've spent a lot of time creating. Now, if you are not interested in supporting our channel by going back and watching the content that I have created, then I have developed a solution for you. I've created a Patreon account. I will put a link to it down below in the description. If you sign up for Patreon and you sign up for the $9 a month account, I will send you the full list of tested and winning indicators to date. I will also send you an updated list of the indicators that we are testing at the end of each week. Now, of course, you have to stay subscribed to the $9 monthly subscription, to continue to receive the updated list of indicators. But that way it will provide me with the support that I need to continue to provide the free content that I am putting out for everybody to view. Now, if you just love the channel in general and want to support us, then there is also a lower, I think $3 Patreon subscription that you can sign up for that will also help support the channel and keep things going, so that way I can continue to produce the content and the open information that we are creating here in this channel and in our Discord server. Again, if you have not signed up for our Discord, then you need to do that as well. It is a absolutely free platform where we have real-time ability to chat and have conversations about trading. And again, if you want to support the channel with Patreon, then you can find the link down below in the description. All right, as I said, today we will be testing the Xtreme trend indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 194 indicators. And out of those 194 indicators, 77 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 77 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. All right. So, as I said, today's indicator is the Xtreme Trend Indicator. You can see it here on screen. It is very similar to a moving average. And so if you don't know, if you haven't watched my previous videos, we did a series where we did kind of head-to-head moving average tests. And we put to test pretty much any moving average that I could find. And all in all, they mostly didn't meet the 60% criteria. I think only one or two met the 60% criteria once it was all said and done, and not very much, not much more than 60%. Interesting enough. Now it's funny because I still to this day am discovering new moving averages that I didn't test in that head-to-head. And so I think in one of the next couple of videos, I might actually test another moving average that we have not tested yet on the channel to see what that one can do. But today we are on the Xtreme Trend Indicator. Like I said, you can see it here on screen. It's similar to a moving average. And so we get quite a few indicators that are like this, that are in, they're an oscillating line more or less. And sometimes they will be below, and so we can actually move it below if we wanted to. And so this is a handy technique if you want to add other indicators on top of another indicator. And so, for example, I have this indicator here, and let's say that I wanted to add, I don't know, a moving average. Let's say a moving average, since we were talking about them. Come down and I find a moving average, and now you can see that I have plotted a moving average on top of this indicator that already exists. Let's see, let's change that to, I don't know, purple, and we can bump up the line weight so you can see it there, and then let's change the input to, I don't know, 20. And so if you wanted to add an indicator to another indicator, this is kind of how you would do it. And so if the indicator itself is on the main screen of price action, then you can move it to its own pane below, and most of the time you can add other indicators on top of it. Some indicators won't work, and most of them will, but yeah, this is, a setup that you would have. Now, of course, that's not really what we're doing today. I just wanted to give a little bit of a trick there, tip or trick. If you didn't know how to do that, then you can do that. Let's move this back up to the existing pane above. And there we go. This indicator, all in all, is a pretty simple setup. It gives us these arrows, when we are to go long or short. Now, of course, in you know, like most indicators, it uses a different color than I would prefer. And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to modify the colors a little bit here. And these are just, again, kind of my personal preference. It's what it's just what the color, kind of color scheme that I prefer to have. And you could test it with whatever color you wanted. You leave it, the default color. However, most people probably don't care about the color. Most people rather just throw it on screen, test it, and they could care less whether it's matching the rest of the colors on screen. But I tend to do that a lot. Again, just my personal preference. So, and it also gives you a better, it just kind of keeps your brain in order. So when I get a green, when the oscillating line, the trend line turns green, and it gives me a green arrow, that is a signal to go long. When it turns red, when the oscillating line, the trend line turns red, and it gives me a red arrow, I guess a red arrow down, then it is a signal to go short. Green arrows up with a green trend line is long. Red arrows down with a red trend line is a short signal. So it kind of just keeps my brain, kind of in order, in check, allows me to process things just a little bit quicker. And so that's basically how we are going to be testing it today. When we get a red signal, we're going to go short. When we get a green signal, we're going to go long. And so we're basically following these little arrows. Those are the definite points that are giving us the signal. And so let's go ahead and play it forward and see what we can get out of this. I'm actually going to pause it here real quick for just a second. Maybe, nah, I'm not going to worry about it. So we will go ahead and play it forward here and see what we can get. So price action is pushed down here pretty far. You see that came down right to this point right here, which is kind of the bottom point of this price action move here before it rejected and moved upwards. And so it's possible that we might see a similar move where it comes down and it rejects and takes off to the upside. Not really sure yet. We can definitely see that it's having a reaction to this area. And so that is something to be mindful of. Again, price action is great. Price action definitely can help your trading and help your trade analysis. But you have to be able to understand, what price action is doing at certain areas, and you have to almost always have other things that are confirming what price action is doing. I'm sure there are some people out there who are price action wizards. I would guess that there are definitely people out there who could read price action and price action alone, and they could call out moves more often than not in the correct direction. I personally love price action, and I feel like I'm pretty good at reading it and understanding it. But at the same time, I can't do it on its own, and I feel like most people out there wouldn't be able to do it on their own either. You have to have other things that are validating what price action is doing, and so that comes with support and resistance lines. It comes with indicators that are confirming what price action, the direction price action is going. and so on. So now we have a push down here again. We're having a reaction to this area, this zone right here. Let's go ahead and play it out and see what it does. So you see now it's double bottoming here at this area. It's a real tight double bottom, but it definitely hit. It rejected it, bounced up, came back down, hit it, and is now rejecting it and giving us another green candle to the upside. So it's looking more and more like we may have a push to the upside off this area. Our indicator is not confirming it yet. Let's go ahead and see what happens. So now you see we have this really massive red bar that pushed down, breaking well down below this area. Let's see if it holds that or if it rejects and immediately breaks back up above. So there we go. I mean, I guess it's not immediate as in the next bar, but you can see that it came down, closed below this support and resistance line here, and then almost immediately started backtracking its way back up and above where it was, where it broke out to the downside. Now this is very telling because what this means is that, or what it could mean, is definitely not 100% guarantee. What this could mean is that price action didn't want to be down here. Most likely market makers pushed it down in this area to bring in a bunch of breakout traders who thought that this was going to smash down and run to the downside and make them lots of money. So market makers like to do this. They'll bring it down, they'll hit an area of support and resistance, they'll break it for a moment, bring in a bunch of people to the short side in this case, and then immediately spike it back in the direction that they wanted it to go in the first place. This is their way of making lots of money. So let's play it forward, and you can see now that we've had a significant break to the upside. We've broke above the extreme trend line. The extreme trend line still has not given us a signal to go long yet, so in this case we would hang tight, but let's go ahead and keep playing it out and see what it does. So it gives us a signal right there, but you see that we were well into a move to the upside where price rejected this lower area and took off for a decent long trade. Now we get our first signal over here. Big long green candle there. It's a little scary because it seems like it is quite overextended at that point, but we are going to mark it here, mark it there, and play it forward and see what it does. Came down pretty quick and stopped us out. That is a shame. And then we pick up a short signal back here on this side right as we are about to break back below this support and resistance line. And so that kind of tells us that we may see a move to the downside, which we did. That one definitely got us to take profit. Let's go ahead and play it forward and see if it will hold this area or if it will bounce back up. Looks like it might hold. Nope. Took another run back to the upside. So now what we have is a new area of freshly created, in this case it would be support because we're going down. And so think of a floor underneath your feet as it supports your weight. This would be supporting price action as it comes down. It keeps bouncing off of it. If it's overhead, then that is resistance. Think of a ceiling that you would jump up and run into with your head, causing a resistance. So it came down, it bounced again, and it shoved back off. But now we've made this really nice area of support here, lower side support, that we can now map off with a line and keep an eye on as we continue on. In this case, as we're mapping them out, what we would do is, just as we are making our analysis of what's happening with the market, what we might be able to trade, then we would keep an eye on these areas to see what is happening as price action gets near them. Let's see. That is quite unfortunate right there. So here's an instance where we get a signal right here, and then you see the next day is a Friday, and this next day here is the opening of the new week, and it gapped down significantly. That would have been below the stop loss order that we would have had in place, and as it pushed up, it would have triggered that stop, then stopping us out of that trade, which ended up running up a little bit there, making a decent little move. Would have definitely got us to take profit. Now, another thing we need to be mindful of is the resistance point that we are creating here, the resistance zone. So we've come up and we've bounced off this area multiple times and rejected it. And you see, once more we came up, we bounced off of it, we rejected it back to the downside. And so now we're just kind of bouncing along in between these points. Price action is not 100% sure what direction it wants to move, or should I say the market makers. They have an idea of what direction they want to move, but they are collecting orders at this point and making money. So let's see, there we go. Let's see if we get a break. Looks like we might get a break of this lower support line here. We did, and almost immediately they pushed it right back up over it. So that's a pretty good sign that it's going to most likely reject that area. Let's keep an eye on it. Now we've double bottomed. We're pulling back up above it one more time. Let's see. Still nothing coming down. Looks like a triple bottom now. And right there would be a pretty good sign that we're going to punch back up to the upside at least a little bit. The indicator hasn't confirmed that yet. Just going off of price action alone, I don't like these wicks that are forming on the top of this candle and this candle. That is a little concerning in jumping into a long trade right there. Those are definitely giving signs that price action is pushing down every time it comes up to that level. But we have a triple bottom here. Price action is rounding back up right at this significant level of support, and so all things but our indicator seem to be pointing upwards with this move. Let's see what happens. Let's see if maybe we can get our indicator to follow along. And looks like it came down for one more touch to the bottom. And rejected that upper area again. Looks like we might be in trouble. This thing could very well just collapse on its way at this point and start its way down. The more times that it comes up and bounces right in this area, so when it comes down and rejects this lower area and spikes up but doesn't actually go up, and then comes down, hits it, spikes up but doesn't go up, and continues to do that multiple times, is the less likely it's actually going to break to the upside and have a strong move, because people get tired of watching it. They keep seeing it do this over and over and over and keep getting faked out, and then they give up hope and they wait for it to do something significant. And so we'll go ahead and play it forward, and there it finally broke to the downside, and it whipped all over the place there. That would have been a disaster for most people that were going in any direction in this thing. It just whipped from one extreme to another really fast. All right, so we get a long signal right there. Let's go ahead and play this out, see what happens. Looks like we picked up a... come on. Yeah, we picked up a win right there on that one. Go ahead and let it continue a little bit. Pick up a short trade right there. I'm not... Yeah, it's going to be close. It barely squeezed it in. We pick up a long trade right here. Unfortunately, almost immediately, we stopped out with a short signal. Now, I will tell you that the creator of this indicator did say that it is a good idea to put a 200 period moving average on the chart and to only take signals that coincide with the moving average. So if price is below the moving average, we would only take shorts. If price was above the moving average, we would only take longs. But to be real honest with you, it seemed like this indicator could hold its own rather well on a standalone basis, and it doesn't seem like I'm too wrong about that. It seems to be doing really well. Of course, we'll see once we count them out at the end. But at the moment, from what I could tell, seems to be doing a pretty reasonable job. Not too bad at all. Now you see how price action is pushing up into these areas of support and resistance. Again, resistance now that it's overhead, and they keep bouncing off of these areas, having reactions to them. I'm not going to worry much about price action at the moment because this video is going to get pretty long if I keep doing that. But each time it runs into one of these areas and has a reaction to it, those are opportunities to read market conditions. They may not always be opportunities to trade, but they will at least give you an idea of what the market might be possibly getting ready to do. And so that is always a good thing to be able to understand. Oops, that one was actually skipped over. We were outside of the year at that point. All right, so there we have it. That is the Xtreme trend indicator. Let's go ahead and add these up and see what we get out of them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So 14 trading signals altogether. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That is a really decent win rate. So all in all, I feel like it did really well. Pretty solid. I mean, we had even one trade over here that was just by pure happenstance that it gapped way down and would have stopped us out. That one would have ended up being a winner right there. And so that would have given us 11, and that's not bad at all. That is a really, really decent setup. Filter out, another trade or two, another losing trade or two, just by using, maybe a chop filter or something else to just kind of confirm things, and you would have a super solid trading system right there. So, like I said, all in all, I like it. Seemed really well, seemed to adapt to the markets very well as the markets were moving. It wasn't just like a standard moving average that just follows along, kind of blindly mapping out the close or the, whatever of each candle and then smoothing it out. It seemed to really kind of adapt and mold itself to price action and what price action was doing. And I feel like those are some of the best indicators that we can have in our potential system. We want something that adapts, something that moves, and can account for when markets are either strong or weak, and so on. So it's going to go on the yes list, and we'll move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you on the next video.